Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Hold on to your shorts. Bitcoin is pulling back. Interesting price action here, but also very standard for retesting that range here, which has been a resistance for a while. So the truth is Bitcoin is still exuding a lot of bullish behavior, but I think there's some cracks in the glass kind of showing us that the price should start to pull back. If you saw my analysis from earlier today, you'll note that there's a lot of bullish momentum. So if the price does end up pulling back, the local high about 66.4, 66,000 is a round number, would be a solid consideration for long. Secondary to that would be that 64.5, 64.7 mark right here at this 0.382 fib level. So again, a lot of these lines here on the chart that I have, the red lines specifically, are recent highs that should work as new lows if the price pulls back to that level. So again, the whole point of this is just to kind of get you educated on best practice and big picture for situations like this. Every situation is different and there's no exact best method for every scenario, but the best thing you could do, honestly, is just hit that like button and learn as much as you can. All right, so the truth is 7 days here, when we looked at this earlier, there's a lot of liquidation to the upside that got swept recently. Okay, so a majority of those late shorts got hit. 68.5 to 69K, we got a decent chunk here. Just say, I mean, each one of these lines that we see on the chart is between 1 to 2 billion. So if we just kind of add that up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's somewhere in the range of 10, 11 billion between now and 69K. So me personally, based on how high we are, kind of traveling within a resistance range here, it makes less sense for the price to continue higher. However, we also have a lot of good momentum and there's a lot of reasons why it should too. So it's kind of one of those conflicting scenarios where personally, me just being in the industry for 20 years, I get this weird feeling about taking a long position right now because it just doesn't feel right. Even though everything's confirming it should go up, it probably won't. I'm going to bank on a pullback that may or may never happen versus trying to short to that level. That's kind of where we're at. So what that really just boils down to is that you shouldn't take a long or a short at this exact moment. Altcoins are still kind of bleeding out. Bitcoin dominance is high. A lot of reasons why no trade is probably the best trade at this point. Again, patient traders are those who usually wait a long time to trade. Now, granted, we do have a short position open, complete transparency with ICP. Coincidentally, if you guys want to take a look at this here, this is funny. Anytime I say ICP is going to sell off, we get more than one thumbs down. It's quite comical, actually, how emotional people get when you just kind of tell them the facts. So the truth is ICP is looking very, very bearish. This isn't an ICP analysis, but the whole point of me telling you this is that if you're getting emotional and you're thumbs downing a video because they're saying something that you don't want to happen, that's according to the charts, everything should happen. And just because it's got really good, market analysis or fundamentals rather, it doesn't mean anything. You can have the best fundamentals in the world and the price action goes straight down because of manipulation and a lot of other reasons that we can pick up on the chart. Again, this is not an exact science, folks, but it is definitely something that helps increase our odds of success. So let's go ahead and see if we can increase our odds of success by looking at the daily time frame. And the simple way to understand it here, and I mentioned this earlier, if you didn't miss that, or did miss that rather, didn't catch it, we're above all moving averages. And the most of them are aggregating right there at about 63,400. We got the 200 and the 20-day SMA right there. That's a very, very beneficial situation. That's really great. Generally implying if we pull back, we're going to see a lot of support there. We also got our macro and relatively recent point of control at 63,000. So a perfect place for a long would be 63K. Now again, is that going to happen? The odds are fairly low that that will occur at this exact moment. Now we continue to diverge. We break some of these ascending trend lines. We break through some specific RSIs. Different story altogether. Okay. Now speaking of RSI, on the daily time frame, this is what I mentioned earlier too, as far as like getting really close to that resistance range. Now we're going to take a lot of volume to be able to break through 68K and to run and go parabolic, as people say. I don't think that's a reality at this point. It's going to take quite a lot. I think there's going to have to be some kind of fundamental catalyst, quite possibly an election that goes our way here in a few weeks. But again, between now and then, we're massively overextended, leading into a resistance range. It doesn't make a ton of sense for the price to break out. If you try to trade right now to the upside, you're going to find difficulty because that's a breakout trade, and breakout traders are extremely low success rate outside of an established trend. We're not in an established trend yet. Contrary to popular belief, okay? So please understand, just because everyone's talking about moon this, moon that, it doesn't mean crap, right? According to technical analysis here, we're in good shape to see this reject as a stronger likelihood versus breaking through it. If it breaks through, different story altogether. But at this point, if you've seen me, see my analysis or my videos at any point in the past, you'll know that breaking 70 on the RSI is extremely important. While we have good money flowing into that, that's absolutely true. We got a lot of volume last 3 trading days. We are due for a correction just based on that metric. There are descending trend line. We haven't broken free from that yet. There's a lot of little things here kind of letting us know that we're not quite in the clear. Again, almost everything else is telling us the price action looks strong and wants to continue. So again, that to me is a conflict of interest, and it makes no sense to take a trade in either direction. I mean, I'm going to lean more towards the price pulling back, and that a short would probably be more appropriate. But again, shorting in a bullish uptrend, which we're seeing right now, seems to make a lot of, it just sounds crazy. Okay, so just, again, if you're crazy for considering going up or down at this point, is there a reason to take a trade? No, it just means you hang out on the sidelines and wait for an established direction. We do have an established direction for now, so just keep in mind the bullish trend is still good, right? We're over the 20-day SMA, running concurrent with this ascending trend line. We've got all other moving averages down here between 0.618, 0.5 fib. A lot of reasons why if we see a pullback, we'll see support, but a lot of reasons why we may not see a pullback at all. Here's something that is interesting to me, and when we looked at this earlier today, we're about a day and a half, now we're about 2 days into this continuation. RSI is coming closer to 70. When the RSI on the 4-hour comes back down under 70, that's generally a sign for me to want to sell my long position. So Bitcoin cannot make or break this level and we go higher soon. We're probably going to see the capitulation of the price going to pull back down to lower levels. It may not come all the way down as low as 50, but generally speaking, breaking back under 70 generally implies that the price is going to turn around soon. That combination with stochastic swinging down, MACD's kind of sort of wanting to diverge, we're losing momentum, and if we can't, crap or get off the pot, you can put whatever words you want in there, it's not going to work out, okay? Generally speaking, that's how it's supposed to work. Now, granted, if we go sideways and consolidate for 2 or 3 days, we have a bullish rectangle type of pattern, and the RSIs cool off, that's a different story. But for right now, we cannot go any higher, we're probably going to go lower. Take a look at the hourly. The last thing I want to recognize here is just the Ichimoku cloud. I talked about this earlier, getting really, really close to considering to close any long position. So not only do we have RSI on the 4-hour telling us we're about 4 to 8 hours away from a close signal. Again, if the price doesn't go up from here, the lagging span is telling us the same thing. In 4 to 8 hours, we're going to have that intersect, generate a close your long position signal. Same thing here. Conversion line above the baseline, it's getting closer. As it gets closer, that implies a window of opportunity is closing. Same thing here as well. We got this guy right here. That is an ascending trend, but we also have the cloud right there, letting us know we have some support still. So again, that's why we can't just say short to the ground, so to speak, because there's a lot of support still present. However, the early signs are letting us know this transition is happening. So that's just, it doesn't make a ton of sense to consider along at this exact level, specifically with altcoins, because if you take a look at Bitcoin dominance, while it's plateauing, it's still on the overall increase, and this is just a generally bad situation. So I wouldn't trade this, folks, at least not right now, not Bitcoin. Doesn't make a ton of sense. And if you're going to trade, make sure you watch it close and ensure that you are just using a realistic amount of leverage and or position size. Some folks favor 20, 30, 50x. I think that's a very foolhardy mistake. You're better off using low leverage and higher position size, so that way you can survive the ebbs and flows of the market and these candle wicks don't destroy you. Because like what we saw here a couple of days ago was complete garbage. 5% up, 5% down, and then back as if it never happened. That is complete trash. That should never happen, but that wiped out any high and medium and even some low leverage longs and shorts. So when that happens, you want to just make sure that you're not putting way too much into your position. So heads up on that. Be very careful if that is kind of who you're doing or what you're doing or who you're following. I wouldn't recommend listening to people that are telling you to go long at the top and or just using anything over 10x leverage. We 10x Bitcoin and 5x leverage and anything else, and it works out fairly consistent. SCI, we took a short 17% there. What was it? Solana, 27% near protocol. Those are both longs, 33. And then Bitcoin short prior to that, 20%. I mean, I'm probably only averaging one trade every day, one trade every other day, but it still works, okay? Again, success rate is fairly high, and I'm not here to gloat about that. I'm only simply telling you that because it requires patience to be able to trade that little and with that high of a success rate. So again, if you want that for yourself, jump on over to our Trading Academy community and signals group, link down below. If not, thanks again so much for being an awesome part of my life. Don't forget to like the video and check out Bitunix. Awesome exchange, link down below for this as well. Excellent reward bonus if you consider joining right now. Thanks again so much. We'll look forward to the next one. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.